Welcome to my channel with Dr. Shobha. Today we will be discussing the new myths 2021 during this COVID-19 pandemic. What do you read when you wake up in the morning and turn the pages of the newspaper? It's the number of active cases and the grim situation. When you turn on the TV, you're hearing updates about the number of cases. On social media and calls with friends, it's again about the COVID 19 pandemic. Every day we hear something new. Earlier, we were told that the infection is spread by droplets. Now they say it's airborne. We hear of the black fungus in treated patients and are shown horrifying pictures of the same. We hear of an increase in the number of cases. The bottom line, there's despair all around. Let's go on to what exactly airborne is. Imagine a group of friends in a room and one of them is smoking. All the friends in that room can experience the smoke, especially if the doors and windows of the room are shut. So let's say that all of them leave in some time and another man enters the room. Now, even though this man is alone in the room, he will get the smell of smoke. In the same way, coughing, sneezing, talking loudly, or singing can cause viral particles of a COVID patient to be released into the air from his nose and mouth. Now, these viral particles, just like the smoke, can remain suspended in the air for some time, especially if the doors and windows of the room are shut. What we can do is to open the windows and doors and allow for ventilation so that fresh air enters the room and viral particles get diluted. This does not mean that the outside air is contaminated. The volume of atmosphere is so huge that viral particles can get diluted in the outside air. One must maintain COVID appropriate behavior like masking and sanitization while keeping doors and windows open, especially when having guests at home. I had a call from my cousin regarding a COVID positive friend a few days back. Now, his CT lung showed COVID and he was given medicines. His SpO2 at that time was 93%. This morning, his BP had shot up and he tried contacting hospitals for admission but wasn't getting a bed anywhere. In his panic, he called up my cousin, who in turn called me and asked if I could help and give him some medication until he could secure a bed at a hospital. So I spoke to this friend and asked him some preliminary questions. I wanted to know if his lung had deteriorated or improved, and so asked him if he could get his SpO2 checked. He got back after some time, and you will be surprised to know what his SpO2 level was. It was 97%. So you see the kind of fear and anxiety he had, although he had actually improved. He also complained of sleeplessness and had a feeling of despair in his voice. Many patients have a feeling of suicide. Now, all these feelings lead to a decreased immunity, all at the time when we're trying to improve our immunity. Not getting a bed was a blessing in disguise, and his mood, as you can imagine, was lifted immediately. Now, what exactly is this black fungus going around in the news? There are several myths regarding it. First of all, it is not black in color, and it is not Demotechius fungus, which have melanin in its wall. It is not contagious, does not spread from person to person. It does not occur in all COVID patients. People think that if they get COVID, they're definitely going to get this fungus. There is an increased incidence in diabetics, but this does not mean it occurs in all diabetics with COVID. It only occurs in persons who do not have the blood sugar level under control and so have a high blood sugar, and those who are taking very high amounts of steroids. There are many patients on home medication and quarantine who, in their anxiety, are overdosing themselves with high steroids and forgetting to test and keep the sugar levels under control. COVID itself can reduce immunity in patients, and when coupled with high sugar and high steroids, which lower the immunity further, can cause easy entry of the fungus and infection. Another factor here which is important is zinc levels. While it is true that zinc can improve immunity and steam can kill the virus which may enter the nose and throat, overdoing these, as people think the more the better, are actually detrimental. It has been known that fungi use zinc for the growth, and excess zinc can actually cause the fungus to grow and spread rapidly in the body. The nasal mucosa acts as a protective layer against invasion by any organism into the nose, and excess steam inhalation can damage the lining of the nasal mucosa with less or no protection against the fungi. Let's understand that 90% of patients don't require admission. Only 10% need admission and only 2 to 3% require ICU. There are many patients who are recovering in home isolation and quarantine. So there's no need to despair. Talk to people who have recovered. Focus on the positive and improve your immunity. This is not to say you should not know what's happening around you. Help people if you can. At the same time, do not focus only on the negative. Don't take an overdosage of any immune boosting medicines or steam inhalation. Spend time, look around nature, take up a new hobby, talk to near and dear ones, and all this alone can improve your immunity and strengthen it. So protect yourself, mask up, sanitize, and maintain social distancing. Stay home, stay safe, and stay happy to improve your immunity. Please like this video if you liked it and share it with your friends and subscribe if you haven't already.